A sentencing date has been set for the Panhandle teen who pleaded no contest to fatally stabbing her newborn. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, a sentencing date has been set for the Gordon teen who pleaded no contest to stabbing her newborn child to death. 17-year-old Chloe Copeland Anderson was arrested following the discovery of the newborn's body on November 6, 2023. In August, in Sheridan County District Court, she pleaded no contest to second-degree murder. In turn, charges of use of a deadly weapon to commit a felony and commit child abuse intentionally resulting in death were dismissed. District Judge Travis O'Gorman ordered a 90-day evaluation in October to determine her capabilities, mental health, and resources that may be available to her with the Nebraska Department of Corrections. Online court records show that now sentencing has been set for April 24th in Sheridan County District Court, where Copeland Anderson will face a prison sentence ranging from 20 years to life on the Class 1B conviction. Well, the Gering City Council has approved a bid for the first infrastructure project that will use proceeds from the LB 357 half-cent sales tax fund, but the scope of the repairs will be larger than originally proposed. A low bid from Hennings Construction of $292,760 was accepted for water main replacements on 5th Street between H and I Streets and on H Street between 5th and 7th. City Administrator Pat Heath explained why staff was also recommending approval of a $113,000 bid for an alternate water main replacement on 6th Street between H and I due to a big leak last fall.
What's happening is when you dig the pipe up, it looks like the craters on the moon. And what's happening is blowing these little holes out, and this last main break, we had water actually shooting over the top of someone's house into their backyard. And so we're afraid that we're going to have other issues down the road, and so they felt we ought to bid this as an alternate. And Mike has decided to forego some capital expenditures that were budgeted in the water department to complete the alternate while we were there.
Nearly $250,000 of the repair cost will come from the LB 357 fund, and the award of both bids to Hennings will mean a savings to the city of about $15,000 in mobilization costs. The base bid and alternate were approved unanimously on a vote of 7-0. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Welcome back. Hemmingford Public Schools is pleased to announce that Joshua Redden has been named high school principal beginning next school year. Redden steps into this role with a wealth of educational and business expertise, holding a Master's of Arts in Education from the University of Nebraska at Kearney, a Master of Business Administration from Chadron State College, and a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Black Hill State University. Redden said he looks forward to continuing the building of strong relationships with students, staff, and the entire community of Hemingford in the new role. Superintendent Dr. Travis Miller expressed confidence in Redden's leadership and background. Well, customers of communities getting some or all of their electrical power from the Municipal Energy Agency of Nebraska will likely see an increase in rates later this year. The Mean Board of Directors last month approved an overall 9.8% adjustment to their rates and charges as part of its total revenue requirement for fiscal year 25-26 for wholesale power supply participants. 10 Panhandle communities will be impacted, including Gering, Sidney, Alliance, Bridgeport, and Kimball, as well as Torrington in Wyoming. Mean officials say wholesale power market expansion by the Southwest Power Pool, inflationary pressures on plant capital, operations and management, and other wholesale power-related costs are the primary drivers of upward pressure on their rates. And Nebraska U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts, who's a member of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, rebutted a false claim by ranking member Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the only entity responsible for protecting consumers in the banking industry.
But I can tell you, as having been a governor and having a Department of Banking that reported to me, that if any consumer would contact us and make a complaint about a bank, even a big bank like JP Morgan, we would investigate, as could the OCC, the FDIC, the FTC. So to characterize that nobody's out there looking for consumers, I think is inaccurate. And we ought not to try and scare consumers right now that somehow this is the case.
During questioning of Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, Ricketts also highlighted his concerns about the expansion of the Fed's balance sheet. He said he's encouraged by the action that the Fed has taken with quantitative tightening to shrink the balance sheet down to $6.85 trillion, but Ricketts says that number is still too high.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
This isn't just a beautiful hospital. It's the home to exceptional patient care. This is where specialty clinics meet your needs. This is where a friendly smile, a warm hand, and an empathetic ear exist to care for you. This is us. Box Butte General Hospital. Great things are happening here.
Welcome back. We are trying to take a look at what's happening in this world of markets today. I'm Susan Littlefield here on the Rural Radio Network. Joining us, of course, is going to be Jim McCormick. Jim is with agmarket.net. And obviously, Jim, weather in South America has been a continued market discussion.
It has. And what's interesting, Susan, we're starting to see a little bit of a pattern change. The northern Brazil has been too wet. Southern Brazil and Argentina's been a little bit too dry. The pattern is now switching. Our northern part is drying out, which is going to allow harvest to accelerate and allow the safrinha crop to get planted. And then on the other hand, southern parts of Brazil and Argentina that have been struggling to get those critical rains, they are now lined up to get it. So that should help stabilize the southern part of the continent's crops.
So how is planting and harvest progress going right now, knowing there's been a lot of adverse weather?
They have been a little bit behind pace, but they did get the crop planted a little bit behind, so it should be expected to be a little bit behind pace. But with this weather breaks like it's forecasted, they can move equipment they move around the equipment fast and furious, so they could easily catch up.
Now, trade and tariff has been a big topic as well. Finally getting some direction, maybe?
We are finally getting at least a direction from President Trump. Several times he's threatened tariffs, and then they essentially pulled them off. This time around, he did hit the tariffs on pretty much everybody in the world that exports essentially steel and aluminum to us. Canada and Mexico are big players in that market. They are trying to talk with the trade administration, the Trump administration, about it. We'll see what happens, Susan. There has been reciprocal tariffs back against it, but that could happen if they make no progress on these talks.
So then how are the fund positions weighing into everything?
Right now, the funds in the corn are carrying one of the biggest positions they've ever carried for this time of year. What's interesting in the corn specifically, if the funds want to buy more, the farmer's pretty much out of grain. He's got 30% left to sell. So the funds want to control this market and they want to buy more. They are going to push this market higher. On the other hand, with all that grain being sold by the producer, the end user doesn't need to bid up. So if the funds do get out because the weather's looking better and the trade war is heating up, there's no one to catch that fallen knife as well. So we're setting for some pretty volatile times when normally it's relatively quiet.
And to wrap up everything, this cattle market is back on the downside once again. Is this how we might be finishing out the trade today?
Well, right now, like the cattle market, they up an escalator, down an elevator shaft. Right now, this cattle market feels like maybe we put at least a temporary top in.
All right, we got a lot that we're going to dive into coming up later today during the Channel Final Bell. Included in that is going to be the WASDE report, where Jim will break everything down for us. And you can find out all the WASDE information on our website and check out the podcast for the Channel Final Bell. You can find that at ruralradionetwork.com. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.
Changing leaf colors means yard work. Your friends at Tri-City Stormwater wants to remind you of the proper way to dispose of fallen leaves. Leaves make great mulch for trees and bushes and compost for future gardens. The city also has yard waste bins, so they can dispose of all your leaves at the city compost facility. Always keep your leaves out of the gutters. Not only do they cause clogging and flooding, they can pollute our waterways by causing nutrient overload. So keep your yard looking good and your drinking water safe, because it's our water, our responsibility.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
At Renewal by Andersen, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today, and please book your free estimate right now at rbawyoming.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Andersen.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the Scottsbluff City Council heard praise during last week's meeting for the great work that the staff of the city's parks and cemetery departments have been doing. Committee member Dan Marshall addressed the council, highlighting tremendous work over the past few years on work done on the Pathway, 18th Street Plaza, hosting the State Horseshoe Tournament, and massive upgrades to the 23 Club facility.
But just so you know, you have the most grateful, wonderful staff in your parks and your cemetery and your board. You really, truly do. And it's been a pleasure working with them, and the hiring has been fantastic. And it's great to be part of this. I think you should be very happy with how your city's going, because we sure are. There's some great citizens out there that really support what you have been doing and what we continue to do.
Marshall did note that the city has lost a lot of trees over the past few years during severe weather, and hopes that work can be done to get the city's tree population growing to new heights. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.